All right, let's bring in the panel. Sky News contributor Kosha Gada and past Chair of Parliament's Foreign Affairs and Defence Committee, Michael Danby. Welcome to you both. Let's begin with the Prime Minister's visit to Indonesia. He received a ceremonial welcome in Jakarta earlier today in what's his first overseas trip since the election. Now, no doubt he'll be looking to strengthen ties with the Indonesian government given growing concerns about Russia's influence in the region, Michael.
Well, I'm expecting nothing out of this, no change at least. As long as the Indonesians don't allow the Russians to set up a permanent airbase in Biak, I think that's unlikely. Indonesia's joined the BRICS and they're trying to still show that they're neutral. But Prabowo got on the plane as soon as he was elected in November to Moscow to see Putin. So there's an alignment there. He said that you can be friends with Australia, but you can't choose by geography your neighbours. So I don't think that was entirely friendly.
No, also interesting to note, Kosha, this is, because he's going off to the inauguration of the Pope, the first time an Australian Prime Minister's done that.
And that's the thing with these issues, that even if there isn't going to be too much substantively that comes out of it, as Michael said, and that may very well be the case, there is an optical element to it, and often that's stagecraft is a big part of why leaders choose to make the trips they make and go to the places they go, and surely that was in his calculus about shoring up the Indo-Pacific region and trying to make a statement in some way to shore them up with our side of town and away from China and Russia.
Someone else who, of course, is travelling around the world at the moment is President Donald Trump. He's touring the Middle East and he's met with Syria's interim president in Saudi Arabia following the surprise declaration that he will lift sanctions on Syria. It's the first time that a US and Syrian leader have met in 25 years. This is how Trump described the meeting.
How did you find the Syrian president?
Great. I think very good. Young, attractive guy, tough guy. He's got a real shot at pulling it together.
Look, I'm not sure what being young and attractive really has to do with it, Kosha, but what does all of this mean?
Big news, as you say, that's just Trump's way, carrot and stick diplomacy. He's offering a few carrots at this point. It's a big deal because these sanctions have been around for the better part of a decade. He's lifting them in one fell swoop. It is controversial, as most things in that region are and involving Trump are, because the current president, the acting president of Syria, formerly was an al-Qaeda operative, so a lot of people are skeptical about how much to trust him. Israel does not support this move because of obviously the role of Syria in that conflict. However, it goes to Trump's worldview, which he has really been clear about for decades, even before he entered politics, and that is about trying to normalize relationships with all actors in the world as much as possible, imperfect as they may be, for America first. This is a nod to the Gulf states who want the sanctions lifted because they want to do more investment in Syria. There's a humanitarian angle to it because 90% of their citizens have been below the poverty line, and I think this was pre-negotiated, and he likes to throw these surprises out when he's on these trips because he is a showman, and that's, again, back to that stagecraft element of it as well.
I don't think you can fault him on the point that US and Western military intervention in the Middle East has had much to show for it, so he's trying something new, and I think it's well worth doing. But another thing, of course, Michael, is that he's announced this deal which would have him take a plane from Qatar. They're now going to buy, 210 US-made Boeing jets, but at the same time, he could take a jet from them that would serve as Air Force One while they're waiting on planes to come from Boeing to be the new Air Force One. I mean, $400 million this thing would be worth that the Qatari royals would give to him. Surely he cannot take that.
He's going to. He says he's going to endow it to his library. This all seems to be about commerce and commercial advantage. Caleb, I don't believe in going from people's throats to their feet in one go. It's not only aesthetically unpleasing, it's politically dangerous. And it's all very well to say we should incorporate Syria in the New World Order. That's probably a good idea if we can, but give it a bit more time. This bloke, HTS, has still banned the organisation in America by the Congress, and he was murdering Christians, Alawis, and the Druze minority just last week. So I'm not sure that Donald is all that well informed about these kind of modalities, as Americans call them, but the plane is a really bad idea. I mean, it just makes him look like a crook, and that people can give him things and then he'll change his policy in favour of those countries. It shouldn't be like that. Donald Trump is a better president than that, and America is a bigger country than that.
Yeah, I really do not think it's a good look. Now, neither President Trump nor Vladimir Putin will be attending peace talks with Volodymyr Zelensky in Turkey, which were planned for Thursday local time, and Zelensky's called on both leaders to join him for direct talks in Turkey. But Putin's decision to send a team of junior officials has sort of made the possibility of negotiations happening a little uncertain, Michael.
Well, this is Putin going a bridge too far for his own interests, because he challenged Zelensky to turn up. And the president said that he'd go there on Thursday if both of them were there. Putin is going to start annoying Trump at some point. I mean, killing 36 Christians on Palm Sunday in Kharkiv, while Steve Witkoff is blabbing onto him in Moscow, using all of the Russian code words and pronunciations of Ukrainian places, is not a good idea, is not a good look. And eventually Trump's going to realise that Putin is playing him for a mug. He should have shown up there. The Americans are sending Secretary of State Rubio, but poor show by Putin again and again. Eventually this guy is going to annoy Trump into adopting support for Ukraine.
Absolutely, and I wanted to talk about, we don't have time, but this business about Biden not recognising George Clooney. I mean, if you wanted any more evidence of how out of his brain the guy was, if you can't recognise George Clooney, you are done. Kosha, Michael, thank you for your time.